Hello everyone, I am Weston's Weatherwise here, and this is another video forecast. In today's video, we break down the upcoming severe weather coming to the United States. Starting here on the day one outlook, if I can get my pen, there. We do have a slight risk of severe weather across a pretty large area. You can tell extending from portions of Pennsylvania all the way back down through portions of extreme northern Florida. I wouldn't even say that. Just a little overlap there. But into portions of Georgia and Alabama. Very large marginal risk surrounds that. So definitely going to keep an eye on that. We do have another marginal risk up here. Portions of Indiana, Wisconsin, and Illinois. Then one back here in Texas and New Mexico. The Storm Prediction Center actually added a 5% tornado risk today in portions of North Carolina and Virginia. So we're going to keep an eye on that, as I will not be able to go live, but definitely stay weather aware if you are in this tornado risk. We have a 15% non-hatched wind and hail threat. Tomorrow, weather does look to die down. We do have a marginal risk of severe weather back in portions of southern Florida, then a pretty weird looking one across the east coast, then one across Kansas, Texas, and Oklahoma. We have a marginal risk of severe weather. We'll see if any of these really turn into something, or this may be our day to take a break. You can tell no tornado outlook. Severe wind and hail is only a 5%. But Florida does not have a hail risk. Moving on to the day 3 outlook, we do have another marginal risk. We actually have two marginal risks, one back in Texas and one back here in portions of Wyoming, Montana, and Idaho. Damaging winds and large hail, maybe a tornado or two in our southern in Texas, but this would just be a damaging wind and large hail risk. Moving on to the Monday, June 2nd, we do have a 15% risk on the day 4 outlook. Did not change much. Really just covers the same areas. It's North Dakota, South Dakota, Minnesota, and Nebraska. Pretty elongated but broad. Then does not stop there. Day 5 outlook. It did actually grow some back here into North Texas. Gonna keep an eye on that, as we may end up seeing an enhanced risk at some point, and this could be a severe weather outbreak. Not trying to say anything yet that would be false, but the potential is there. Now, what is going to be driving all of these storms? Well, we have to look above for low pressure systems, and we can tell here that we are going to get one on Saturday that's going to spin in Nebraska, but we also have one digging here in the northeast, bringing extensive rainfall. We're going to have to keep a close eye on that. But as we move forward for Sunday and then into Monday, first, we already see two things. We see our first low pressure system developing back here, and we have our another one developing off the coast of the Pacific Northwest. And as these go, as we move it forward, you can tell that one right there didn't really do much, but then this one broke off down here. And then we have to start watching, because here on the 3rd, it's going to try. We're going to get this little trough ejection here. Right there, we're going to get that little trough ejection. That is going to bring the chance for severe weather. And I do think, actually, if we back it up, here on Thursday, with this, we do have a pretty broad low pressure system. I do think it is going to eject and promote a severe weather risk across the plains. So now moving on to what radar could look like today. Here we are on the East Coast. We can see storms are out there already, but they are going to intensify throughout the day and then move off the coast. There is going to be this opportunity right here, I feel, for the risk for a few tornadoes, because the significant tornado parameter is a bit higher in those areas. So just stay weather aware, and we will have another video update if we need to. Moving the HRRR here to the Midwest to look at Wisconsin, Illinois, and Indiana. You can tell storms are going to fire, and I would not be surprised to see a marginal risk in portions of Michigan. So, gonna keep an eye on that too. But nothing too crazy, and the tornado threat is near zero. It's not even a 2% risk, but I wouldn't be surprised if we did get maybe not a tornado, but maybe a water spout with a more intense supercell. So we'll keep an eye on it. Moving on to the southern plains. This is going to be just for today. We can see more storms are going to fire back in New Mexico, but they don't look too intense. They don't look to be too long-lived, so nothing too crazy. Also, we should probably... What is this model right here? We're going to go ahead and look at this one right now, because this is going to be for tomorrow. That needs to be on 6Z. As we can tell, for tomorrow, or this isn't tomorrow, we have to move on to the NAM to be able to see what could happen. You can tell supercells may go up, and there is actually a low tornado risk with this. As you can tell, there's going to be a brief period where we could see a tornado or two, mostly across Montana, but we could see one back here into portions of northeastern Idaho. That's southeastern, pardon me. Moving on to the HRRR back in the southern plains. This is going to be for tomorrow's risk. You can tell storms are going to fire in portions of Kansas and even along Oklahoma, along a frontal boundary. And I do think we are going to have a tornado risk with this, and especially with the more intense supercells that are able to stay discrete, or at least semi-discrete. Because a significant tornado parameter, there is going to be that chance for sure. So we're going to keep a very close eye on that with this event. Now, moving on to the GFS of what radar may look like. And we can tell here, moving into Monday, you can tell we're going to get that severe weather system. Then supercells may try and fire on Tuesday. And then we get a break Wednesday, it looks like, but into Thursday, more severe weather looks likely in the plains. And then even on Friday, we could get some redevelopment, and also on Saturday. So plains, Oklahoma, Kansas, Texas, you guys need to be ready. You can tell the GFS likes having a hurricane come up into the United States. We'll have to see if that occurs, but I'm giving it around a 5% chance of developing as of now. Moving on to the European model, we can tell today on the latest run, moving into Monday, you can tell the storms are going to fire, but it also has these storms firing late on Monday into early Tuesday. And if that leaves morning convection, we could see a less organized severe risk. As you can tell, they really don't redevelop, they just intensify. So we'll have to see how that plays out. But you can tell just more severe weather looks to be a possibility. I will say Saturday does look pretty intense. And then I just think we're going to have heavy rains. I mean, even this is a little far out to forecast, but next Thursday. So we're going to keep an eye on that. I hope you guys all did enjoy today's video. Make sure to drop a like and subscribe if you are new here, as we have hit 354 subscribers. I cannot thank you guys enough. Make sure to drop a like and subscribe, as I already said. And I will